Is the First Descendant worth your time after its second beta for full release? From its initial beta over a year ago, a lot has changed overall for the very first Descendant, between graphics, the UI, the tutorial, etc, etc. The open beta for the TFD is finally ending and I had an amazing time during my time playing it. This episode will showcase gameplay and a better understanding of whether you should actually put your time and even some money into TFD instead of Warframe, Destiny, and The Division. Watch to the end and I'll show you one of my episodes covering the closed beta so you guys can see the difference from the first beta to this beta, and as well as see what are my final thoughts on the First Descendant before the open beta closes in a day or so. For some of you who do not know this game, this is a third-person looter shooter that is being powered by Unreal Engine 5, developed and published by Nexon Games. Players take control of 11 different Descendants to final fight back to the Vulgus, a mechanized threat to the humans. The game immediately reminds me of a style of Warframe, both like the likes of Destiny's mechanics, like the hub area, the merchants, in the hub area exploring the mainland. There's a lot of similarities when you've played like The Division or the Warframe or even Destiny, things of that nature. This reminds me of an MMO light, not really a full MMO experience, but we'll talk about that later. This is a free-to-play title by Nexon, so I'll be speaking about the monetization of the game later in the video. So let's talk about overarching gameplay, right? I got a couple of things I want to talk about the gameplay. So modules. Modules are the way to enhance your character and as well as your weapon. You'll be collecting a lot of them throughout your time playing and killing mobs. The Descendant modules gives you plenty of modifiers, while every equipped weapon can also use modules to further enhance the weapon's overall ability. There are over 300 plus modules, as well as other than just the modules, players can also obtain reactors and external components, which also helps further boost your Descendants passively across the board and letting you able to equip up to 5 of them at a single time. You can also level up your modules too with one of the vendors in the main hub, which then leads me into the mastery rank system. So there are 11 Descendants which you gain rewards depending on your rank for that Descendant. So the longer you play that Descendant, the more experience you get with that Descendant, and of course more they rank up through the masteries. There's up to 40 masteries, and every time you unlock a rank in the mastery, you gain a couple of rewards to be able to further improve that character and just further improve your gameplay. Speaking of the Descendants, so at the very beginning of the game, players will be met with 3 Descendants at the beginning. You got Viessa, who is your Ice Mage, Lepic, who is just your all-around type of versatile based character, and you have Ajax, which is the game's tank in a sense. So you will be able to continue playing the game, and like of course they kind of push Bunny down your throat. I love playing as Bunny. You're probably looking at gameplay now of Bunny on screen. I love playing with her. She's quite fun. The map is also big. During the beta, most of the areas are locked. So Albion is your home hub world, kind of like how Destiny has their home planet that you always go to, which is the tower, course, etc, etc, and you always meet back there while you go out into your missions on the other planets, similar to that of the First Descendant. So if you're well aware of Destiny's way of doing things and you're well aware of Warframe's way of doing things, then this would be similar to that. So it'll be kind of a lot of familiarity. Then you have the dungeons or raids, which are called void intercept battles. Then you have the rest of the planet to explore to actually complete your quests. Now I do want to talk about a little bit of the controls real quick. When you actually get to play your character, now all of that stuff I talked about, which was outside of actual playing, but when you actually get to play your character, you know, you're actually in the actual field and you're not in the hub area, like you're in Kingston doing missions. You get your Descendants have up to 4 abilities, which of course as you level them up you will get to unlock the abilities, so on and so forth, that comes with their kit. So right now, like I said, I love playing with Bunny. She's hella waifu material. You have 3 weapons to cycle from and a grappling hook in your melee. So depending on your Descendant, you have multiple different abilities to shoot from, which is your 4 that comes with that kit to make or break their basically style of play. Then you got your 3 weapons that you can cycle through, which basically go from a ranking of heavy, like SMGs, ARs, like there's so many weapons and they all have so many different styles of how they're ranked and how they utilize and what particular ammo they use, which for all my fans of Destiny, you will start to kind of like, I'm used to this, you know, how like there's the special ammo and light ammo and all that stuff, and if you don't get enough special ammo, the game doesn't really help you out with that, so you guys will be a little bit familiar to that. There is also controller support too. I played both on controller and keyboard and mouse, and honestly, there is no difference. It's both fun, very fluid, no hiccups, no problems switching between either or, and I'm just playing on PC. My overall feel for this game, as you will know while watching my gameplay, that these locations that you come across, like the quest and stuff, rely on an instance-based mission. So you can honestly walk around the entire area forever and not run into an enemy until you accept a quest. That's when the cavalry starts coming, right? The grappling hook is very fun, like I said earlier, to use. It's very versatile. It helps you get across the map and makes it more enjoyable and more palatable to be able to traverse this very lonesome area. I definitely like using the grappling hook during combat too. It helps me getting out of sticky situations and actually moving in and out of stuff, and just overall just running circles around enemies. It actually makes it quite fun. So real quick about some of the graphics. Now, one thing that I have noticed from when I originally played the first beta last year, the graphics have undergone a huge performance increase, as well as the addition to DLSS for NVIDIA graphics cards. Playing the second beta feels almost a breath of fresh air, since the original beta is showing huge improvements to the overall feel and the user interface, and the user experience changes to the game. During combat, weapons feel very punchy, and every boom and every sound during combat feels like I'm in a home theater. Like, they definitely nailed the sound design for this game. Definitely huge improvements since the very first beta, which makes me very hyped to see what this game's going to be like on launch. You may be wondering about the monetizing in this game, and because it is a free-to-play game. And normally when you play most free-to-play games in this age of gaming, at every stop, the game is trying to make you pay for something. Now, throughout my time playing through the beta, and actually both betas, what was missing was Season Pass and Battle Passes, a shop full of buying cosmetic items, etc, etc. Now, that does not mean the devs can't put it in the game by the time the game fully releases. So as of right now, the beta has been fun without any hiccups or them trying to be like Mama Bird and, you know, just feed us a bunch of cosmetics and making us pay $2, $3, $4, $10 per item. There has been a sea of saturated free-to-play games that has been full of microtransactions, and a lot of buy-to-play games that has released half-baked. So playing through a fun looter shooter and just having fun running through enemies at a fast-paced combative level, no slowing down, this game is definitely a must-play. The biggest flaws, though, I have seen during my time is the world does feel empty. As I stated earlier in the video, with the repetitive missions due to it being instance-based, I feel the best way to overcome that emptiness is to add more life to the open world instead of just the hub world Albion. Make the other areas of the game on a grander scale so they feel like they have some life to it, like adding more NPCs or enemy patrol units, or making the missions a little bit more story heavy like Destiny, which has captivated players with the story and quests, and even something like Warframe. The stakes are very high for Nexon and the success of the First Descendant, and if it doesn't succeed, it will be another failed game, letting players down, being another crash gab without any payoffs, and people will begin to lose trust in the Nexon product. The final lesson is gaming is slowly getting better regarding the market, was full of live service games which gave empty promises, and a lot of new games are on the horizon and beginning to show gaming is not dead or stale. The first edition is a nice addition to the looter shooter genre, which offers a nice mix of high-end graphics and great gunplay and abilities. If you want to scratch and Destiny or Warframe itch, then the First Descendant is right for you. Let me know in the comments section below what was your favorite moments in the beta, and will you be playing the First Descendant on full release? What did you like or dislike about the First Descendant differently from the other looter shooters that you have played? Now, if you want to check out another review that I have an emotional journey to take you on, then come check out Eternights. That review I'll have in the card on the left side, and then I also want you guys to go check out my First Descendant, the very first time I even played this game a year ago, so you guys can see the differences and probably see how my opinions may have changed or not. I'll have it in the other card on the right. But as always, it's been your host, Chaos DTV, here at Chaotic Inc., signing out. Peace.
Things I make them manifest. I don't sleep, that's so weak, don't plan to rest. I'm from a hood where you die if you don't pack a vest. No culinary degrees, but whipping crack the best. Chefing, hard times taught lessons. Praying every night to pull up in park Benzes. What's my home is what you call trenches. You wouldn't last a day seeing life through all lenses. It's all tension, no sun, and rain and plenty. Full-time job, still can never make